Jeffrey says that he's doing all this self-improvement just for himself. He thinks that any man who wants to be better than others is vain and egotistical. Adonis competes, and he beats other men. He uses competition to fuel his efforts in his self-improvement, and because of that, he grows. If you're a feminine man who avoids competition, who doesn't want to be better than others, I'm not competing, I'm just trying to be the best that I can be. Honestly, there is a guy out there who right now is putting in the work and he thinks that you are his competition. This guy is gonna fuck your future girlfriend. This is the guy who's going to get the promotion that you wanted, or his business is going to destroy yours. First of all, my name is Hamza. I help young men go through the Jeffrey to Adonis transformation through self-improvements. You're clearly interested in that. Scroll down right now, click on the subscribe and the post notification button. It's a win-win for both of us. I don't know what you're thinking. You saw the title of this video and you think, oh, ego. He sounds so egotistical. He wants to be better than other people. He should read Ego is the Enemy by Ryan Holiday. Pretty good book though. You know what I realized? Ego is profitable. Sneeko, a pretty big YouTuber, made a fantastic video on this that, if I remember, I'll link in the description below that you should go and watch. If you have the ego that you want to be better than other men, you will go further. You'll compete and you'll push harder because you're fighting for resources. The excuse that most men give is they just want to be the best that they can be. They don't want to compete. You can only be the best that you could be if you are in competition with others. That competition creates this urge and this drive inside of us to push harder than we normally would do. All of this is only true if you actually use ego in the right, profitable way, which I'm going to teach you now. I'm 24 years old right now. When I was 17 and I started lifting, I'm not going to lie, I started lifting for ego. I wanted to be more attractive and certainly more muscular than the guys around me, and I wanted to get girls because of that reason. Now, okay, again, all the guys can be, oh my god, you started lifting for girls. I don't lift for girls. I lift. Shut up. That one hurt, bro. Come on, you're gonna break my knuckles one day, bro. Kiss it better, bro. No, use your tongue. I don't know why the self-improvement community has this weird feeling of like, okay, we're not supposed to do anything for anyone else. We're not supposed to do anything to attract women or to try and get like the respect of guys or to be better than someone else or to compete or to be like athletes. Everyone's got this huge like virtuous persona that, oh, I am so righteous. I only do things to better myself. When you improve yourself, when you compete with others, when you attract women, when you get the respect of men, that is for you. And so at 17 years old, I wanted this stuff for me. That sounded weird. For me. And so guess what happened to me at age 17 when I got a massive ego and wanted to be better than other people? I experienced major growth. Everything in my life got better. I got more muscular, I got more confident, I got better social skills, I got more friendships. My ego fueled me to experience growth. And then the next stage of my life, and I'm now 19 years old and I want to get good with girls. I want, specifically, I'm going to be honest, no guy's ever going to admit this, but I specifically wanted other people to know that I was good with girls. I wanted other people to see it. Obviously ego, obviously it's like, it's insecurity. But guess what happened again? It caused major growth. I invested some time into it. I learned how you actually attract women and how to sort of show off a sort of boy vibe, and it worked. And I felt good about it. Like, it caused, again, major growth in my social skills and my confidence and my happiness. But then something interesting happened. I stopped wanting to impress people. I stopped wanting to be better than other people. What do you think happened then? I went into the shadows. I went into the lone wolf, no competition, no hard work, no drive. Started smoking weed every day. Started binge eating every day. At this stage in my life, I got comfortable. I had already impressed myself. And this is why I despise it when I see these little dumbasses on self-improvement video on my comments where they're always just commenting saying like, oh, but if you work out for girls, you're pathetic. I work out for myself. Like, work out for yourself, nice, but the girls are for you, dumbass. And eventually the thing is, you lose a lot of the drive because you've already impressed yourself. Like, you impress yourself with your body. 2 years in, you impress yourself fairly quickly, especially if you've been like a Jeffrey Spurg beforehand. The only reason why you will ever get to an elite level in something, you will ever become great at something, is because you wanted to be better than someone else. You wanted to be better than one of your friends. Because think about progressive overload in the gym. How crazy and driven are you to hit an extra rep on bench press next week? Yeah, like I'd like to do it, right? I'd like to do it, but I'm not staying up late. How about if you then had a powerlifting competition, you're going to be driven for it. Why? Because you're competing against other people, because you want to be better than them. When we have organized competitions like this, like a sporting event, it's normal to say, yeah, like I want to be better. Of course it is. But in the self-improvement niche, I think it's because it brings a lot of soft men. Yeah, that's true. The self-improvement niche is filled with a lot of soft men. That's exactly the way I'd say it. Soft, feminine men who think that competition is bad for you. I'm only doing this for myself. So a couple of months ago, I read the book Ego is the Enemy by Ryan Holiday. Can we have a picture of that out, please, Sammy boy? And ego generally is negative to have. It can blind you if you use it in the wrong way, if you have it in the wrong way. There is a way to use it in your advantage, a mindset and a framework that you could hold to accomplish amazing feats pretty much entirely because of your ego. And because of this realization, my ego has shot straight up. I really want to be better than other people. I really constantly remind myself of my competition. And everything in the last few weeks since my egos went up has been very impressive. My work rate is straight back up. My drive is straight back up. My motivation's on tap. It's like I've got that 24/7 motivation again. I've hacked motivation now because I constantly just ask myself, what is my competition doing right now? And I want to beat that motherfucker. This thought is the reason why I step back inside of the cold shower. When I've stepped outside to be a little bit of a pussy and I'm like, oh, it's too cold. I step back inside thinking, no, that motherfucker, my competition isn't stepping outside. I keep my form perfect and I squeeze out the rep perfectly because I know I almost visualize some guy next to me, like me and him are competing against each other and he's hitting those reps well. And so I need to do it too. So then I wake up at 5 a.m. and I'm already thinking, this motherfucker, he's waking up at 7. I've already got 2 hours on him. In kickboxing especially, this is where like my ego has come up. We're going to give you a little story time. So I've been kickboxing now for like 2.5 months. Now I've already had a fantastic level of fitness before and I've been weightlifting for like 6 years or so, and I've been doing like gymnastics and stuff for a year. Pretty good cardio compared to most people. I go into kickboxing, I'm one of the newest guys there. I'm just kind of learning the skill and everything, and I have leveled up so damn quickly. And there's a few moments in the last few sessions where my ego's kicked in. We're warming up with the skipping rope. If you've ever been in like a martial arts club or any kind of like place where you're all skipping at the same time, you'll know there's always like that one guy who can skip. That's become me. Like I used to be fairly bad at skipping just a while ago. I'd always, you mess up and you like hit your foot on it, so you have to go really slow. I'm going like the full sprint. So the instructor says do 10 normal skips and then 10 sprints. And on my sprints, but I'm going 100%. Yesterday, I had so much respect for myself. I look up at myself, I'm drenched in sweat, where it's only the warm up right now, and my eyes are literally getting like red with how much I was doing. Like I just kept on asking myself, like, are you at the edge? Are you at your limits? Yeah, and the answer was always no. I had a stitch and everything. I'm pushing hard. It's the fairy tale of the soft men. If I say, it was just to impress myself. The thing is, yeah, it did impress myself, but I couldn't help but notice that there were people looking at me, and that helped. That made me feel good. It gave me a sense of validation for my hard work, and that drove me even further. So the times where I would go into the full sprints, I'd kind of just see people kind of like, who they were like messing up their skips or anything. And they'd be like, oh my God, like 2 guys were like stood in the corner, like looking at me when I went like full on ham, and I see a girl at the back of the room, like stare at me and everything. That helped. That made me skip even better than normal. Now, if I skip by myself today, like not in kickboxing, but just by myself, bro, I'm going to mess up like 50 times in a row. I'm bad at skipping, but because I'm skipping next to other people, like I want to impress other people. And I don't know why that's like a sin to say that, he wants to impress other people. Like, shut up, bro. That's a good thing, because when you want to impress other people, when you want to impress a woman with your physique, when you want to impress someone with your work rate, you're the one who's winning. Not only that, but you also just create a better perception of the people around you. And that's a win-win. I just think that a lot of guys have this idea of like, okay, if I keep trying to convince myself that I'm just doing it for me and I don't care about anyone else and I'm only improving just to be the best version of myself, they're lying. I think that's the truth. And I know there are a bunch of these guys. I know like you're probably watching this thinking like, oh yeah, he's talking about me. Like I've been saying all this shit. I'm only improving. I don't want the women. I'm just trying to lift weights for myself. If you look through the comments of my aesthetic body video, the one that went like semi-viral, and there's a bunch of motherfuckers like, oh, he's lifting to get girls. I only lift for myself. Like, okay, are you asexual? Probably not. So you're lifting to get girls too. You just don't have the humility to admit it. And this brings us to the true issue of ego, which is that it can blind you to the improvements that you need to make because it stops you from being humble and to have humility. Because people with big egos generally think that they're better than they actually are. And so that limits their growth. And so there is a right way to have a big ego. And that is to have the big ego, to constantly try to compete and do better than the people around you, but also to keep a student mindset. We know that we're a dumbass, especially in new skills. When I enter kickboxing, bro, I'm the complete beginner. I'm a complete dumbass. And so I'm open to everything. I'm looking at everyone else, I'm looking at them, seeing how they do their technique. I'm asking so many questions. If I had a big ego in the wrong sense and it was blinding me, I would have went in and not taken anyone's advice and done it my way because my way is better. I've got the big ego. No. I've got a big ego. I want to be better than everyone else. I want to have faster progress in kickboxing than everyone else around me. But I also know that faster progress is going to come from the student mindset of observing the people who are better than me. We have to constantly remind ourselves of our competition if we really, really want to maximize our potential. You cannot live this solo life of just trying to be the best that you can be, because this is like, let's say this is the best that you can be if you just think of yourself, but this is the best you can be if you also compare yourself and you also like compete against this guy here. And I've just said, again, one of the biggest sins ever, compare yourself. All of the edgy videos of the feminine people are never compare yourself. Don't compare yourself, guys. Don't compare. You should compare yourself. The reason why I've grown so much is because I compare myself to other people, and it isn't the healthiest thing to do, but it causes the growth that then makes you feel happier and healthier. And saying that, maybe compare isn't even the right word, because I think comparison is for weak and lazy people. Competition is for driven and like masculine people. When I think about it right now, I think, you know what? No, social comparisons are actually bad for you. Let's say for you, you're watching my videos, you like my stuff, you go onto my Instagram, you see all my shirt. Go follow me, by the way, guys. You see all my shirtless pictures. If you compared yourself and you're like, oh, why is he so big? Why is he bigger than me? You're a dumbass. Now, if you were relatively close to my physique, my strength, let's say, and you knew, we were like keeping in touch about what we're lifting in the gym, and then you compete against me, that would be a healthy way to have an ego. Comparison's probably not that good. Now that I actually say this, maybe I should get Sam to no, I'm going to keep it in just because it was an authentic rant. Don't compare yourself to others. Compete with others. And I made a video a while ago saying your competition. And I said that most of the reason why people think competition and comparison is negative is because you're competing against someone you aren't a competition with. And so in this video, I said that the reason why most people think comparison and competition is a bad thing is because most people are competing in the wrong competition. You should not be competing against me. If you're new to self-improvement, if you've been working out for like 3 months and you're looking at my pictures thinking like, gosh, bro, you look so big, bro, you're a dumbass. You should be looking at someone else who's 3 months in thinking, okay, he's got like slightly bigger shoulders than me, but my chest is bigger. You know what? I'm going to go smash the shoulder session, thinking that if me and this guy approach the girl in the club, I'm going to have bigger shoulders in 3 months from now. That's a healthy competition for men. Now, the modern world has convinced you that competition is bad. And so we do have a bunch, even in my cult, we have a bunch of these soft guys who are like completely against all kinds of competition. You will only ever experience a fast rate of growth when you compete, when you have the mindset that someone else could take you the resources that you want. And the resources that we want generally is things like money, muscle, women, freedom. Now, by now, all of the Spurgs have disliked and maybe they've left a mean comment. I don't even read comments anymore. But there's one important note that they're not going to get the benefit from, but you will. We're going to be in competition. We're going to have a high work rate and drive and everything. But again, this is not hustle culture. I don't do that shit. Hustle culture is like this business, like little weirdo mindset where it's like, okay, let's work for 17 hours. Like a lot of the Asian people just in general have this, especially like coders and shit. Like, okay, 14-hour days. I'm going to study for 17 hours days because it's the culture here. Like, shut up, bro. I work about 3 to 4 hours a day. That's why I'm successful. I only work like 3 to 4 hours a day, but guess what? I'm still competing because when I take a break from my work, I work like 1 hour, right? And I take a break. Now, the big guys are working for 7 hours straight. I work for an hour, I take a break, and I'm sat with my mom drinking tea. I ask myself here, what's my competition doing right now? Being an idiot. Most people would think, oh, but your competition is doing better than you, Hamza, because he's working. But like, I'm not. No, he's not. He's overworking right now. He's fatigued. I'm having a relaxing break, chilling with my mom, listening to her, telling me her stories. I'm going to come back to work with better energy and better focus and happiness and social connection. All those boxes are ticked. My work is going to be better than his. When I'm about to meditate, I think to myself, okay, what's my competition doing right now? Guess what? He's still working like a dumbass. He's still working because he thinks you need to do 12-hour days in the business. So he's still working on his business right now when I'm meditating and I'm having a break. And so I finish the meditation, my mental energy, my focus is increased. I then work for another hour And the output of that hour is worth 3 hours of what my competition is doing. That's why I'm winning. And so you should have that mindset that you can beat your competition. You can be better than other men. But that doesn't exactly mean that you have to do the whole hardcore work every single minute of the day. You're better than other men if you meditate. You're better than other men if you journal. You're better than other men if you spend some time with your mother, bro. Have some respect. Go speak to her. Like, you are so much better than them. Now, of course, we shouldn't be so competitive in something like, let's say, relationships, something like mental health. There's probably like 2 fields that we can say most competition is in. No, 3 fields. It's in terms of money, status, and relationships, like getting women. And everything else that we do generally puts us towards these 3. It gets us money, it gets us status, and it gets us women. I'm happy that at least I have the confidence and the humility to say this, to admit this, that yes, I'll happily like hold my hand up and say, yes, goddamn. See that shit, boys. I want to be better than other men. I want to be more muscular than them. I want to be more attractive than them. I want to be more successful than them, because the moment you get slightly better than someone else, you essentially get that level of reward. Now, most men will never want to admit this, and that's why their reward from the world is straight all the way down here. Sure, you can go the slow way if you want and do the fulfillment way of like, okay, me no look at other guys, me just try to be the best that I can. But I promise you, you will see the fastest progress in your life when you start invoking competition. Do the hard work, especially when you don't feel like it.